teachers have a much higher degree of control over. And I do think with the strategies that have been presented to us just now, it's going to allow our teachers to see a lot of growth during this school year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Dr. Berryman? Thank you for the thorough presentation. And we look forward to hopefully onward and upward from where we are now, and if there are any ways that the board or this committee can assist in helping the educators expand our student achievement, we certainly want to do so.
Policies. So, are we good to start with policies?
Yep.
Okay. Policy 308. So for all of these, we're looking at adopting the new PSBA language. And then, so for 308 specifically, there was a designation that we had to select, and it was regarding who can submit the resignation to the board president. So the superintendent has to, but an option that the committee had was to also include the assistant superintendent. So the assistant superintendent can either give their resignation to the superintendent or to the school board. My recommendation to the committee was that the assistant superintendent may submit their resignation to the school board, so that you would receive the superintendent and or the assistant superintendent's resignation. So that would be my recommendation, but that's something that the committee can decide whether you want the assistant superintendent giving it to you or to the superintendent.
I don't think it matters because you're never going to resign, Judy. So, does anybody have any?
Dr. Berryman, just a point of clarification, and I apologize if you or Carrie already answered this question. The regular font that's in here is something that is the PSBA traditional information. The bold is the changes that the legal counsel at PSBA would like to see happen.
Yep.
And then the color-coded one, like what's on page 2, is more of, that's us locally trying to make it fit what's happening at Littlestown. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on 308? Policy 317, which is conduct and disciplinary procedures. Most of this is all but verbatim from our old policy. There was only a few new additions to that, and really just about how before somebody's dismissed that we do our due diligence and an investigation. So that was new, and one section was new about the superintendent may also receive notice from the PA Department of Education if a certified educator has a pending record of arrest, that is law. So that was the only changes on that one. Any questions on 317? Policy 317.1, educator misconduct. This whole thing was exactly as ours. Our current policy, the only change was to the discrimination harassment area. They did add, including Title IX sexual harassment in there. So that terminology was added. Title IX sexual harassment was the only thing added. Everything else in that policy is exactly the same. Questions on 317.1? Okay. Policy 320, freedom of speech by employees. There was a few areas where there was some new language in here, as far as the board respects employees' freedom of speech. Public school employees do not surrender their rights to free primarily because of their status as an employee of the school district. That they are sometimes, you know, considered private citizens. And then it also goes on to talk about when the employee is not engaged in assigned duties, in such instances, the district, in accordance with the school solicitor, must balance the employee's interests regarding freedom of expression on issues of public concern as a private citizen against the interests of the district in promoting the efficiency and effective functioning and educational purpose of the district. So really trying to make sure that we are balancing their right as private citizens against the interests of the district. We have historically not had any concerns with that in this district, but should that ever arise, of course, we would then be in contact with our solicitor. So, any questions on 320?
I just have I don't know, and maybe, I read through this. Was this like something that was brought up for, like, perhaps before the Charlie Kirk assassination, and what's happening with some educators across the country who were supporting what happened to him and happy that it happened, and looking at their positions? Is this tied in with any of that? Okay.
No.
We receive regular, almost like quarterly updates from PSBA, the PNNs, and this just happened to be part of that in August.
Yeah, this came out in August.
Yeah.
Good question. Policy 336 is personal necessity leave. This is actually the exact same policy. And all we had to do was designate what we do here at Littlestown as far as following the administrative compensation plan, individual contracts, and collective bargaining agreement or board resolutions, and also that we follow our bereavement policies as far as our contracts. So there really wasn't any changes to that. I would like to bring back 827. The committee had asked me to take this back to the solicitor, and I took it back through Saxon and Stump and heard from Lee Dalton, does a lot of the policy reviews down there. Her recommendation as far as nominal values, she did say, like, you can pick any number that you want. But she said a nice number that makes sense to a lot of school districts is to pick $249. And the reasoning for that is that anything $250 and above, you have to report on your ethics form that you fill out every year. So if you were to receive a gift that is $250 or more, you are by law required to already submit that on your ethics form that you fill out every year for a carry. So her recommendation, I shared this with Nick, you can pick any number you want. 249 was a nice number because if it's less than 249, if it's more than 249, you're reporting it to ethics. But that would be for this committee to consider the amount.
Does anybody have any thoughts?
I mean, what was it before, 25?
It always said
Just said
nominal.
nominal value.
Yeah,
So there's no definition, so you basically put some definition, which is,
you're defining, this committee would be recommending to the full board what they're defining as nominal, or what they're content with as far as being a nominal amount.
I'll just ask this question. Have any of you been receiving any gifts?
I was gonna
Because
say,
I have, like, I think I can count,
I mean,
like, I think that we've gotten poinsettias and sweet corn from the FFA. I don't,
Chips from Carl.
chocolate from Tim in executive sessions.
Chips from Carl.
We got some chips from Carl.
we got some peanut butter.
Peanut butter fudge from Wall.
Peanut butter fudge from Mary, and
I didn't want to.
Oh, and we got those folders from Tim, and the pins from,
Those folders were not $250.
I was gonna say.
well,
the
and I don't think like, that doesn't even count, like, none of that stuff was
No, because it's for your
necessarily,
computer.
right, like, none of that. So, this is like, I want to just draw the public's attention to, this is not something that ever
Yeah,
happens.
right.
Like, we don't get gifts or tips from any outside parties, at least I haven't. Other board members can speak for themselves. So, I don't see an issue, like, you can spin the wheel and pick a number, we can follow the solicitor's recommendation. So, that's where I
Just
stand.
for $245, what would you want?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, if you get a
It's
Dollar
fine.
Tree, it does.
Yeah.
um,
That's a fine amount.
so, any other comments?
We can move to the board.
Okay.
At $249. Okay.
That's fine.
So are all board members of the committee in favor of moving all policies 1 through 6 to the board for first reading?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's the end of our agenda items. Is there any other business to be brought before the committee? And I'm looking to this side of the table. That's,
Amazingly enough, I have nothing.
Nothing for that. I don't know, are we gonna address misconceptions that were spoken earlier, or is it like next week when the solicitor's here, like how,
other specific questions that you have?
well, regarding the, radio and when and why it was posted and when it was, things we can't speak on?
I don't think that we can get into that.
Right. Okay.
Regarding a personnel
Okay.
matter.
Yep.
So, I don't think that would be the date that it was allegedly posted, at the podium was not correct. It was posted prior to that, on the public website. But, in terms of the personnel matter itself, that's not something that
Right.
we can get into.
Thank you.
Any other business? Hearing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.